Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Swift Community Live broadcast of the WTRL Team Time Trial number 142. We're out on a climber's course today. UCI Worlds, Harrogate in Yorkshire. Dave Towle next to me, coming out of Colorado. And I think today is one for the punchy climbers. You can put in little digs here and there, I think, out on this course, Dave, on some of the flatter sections to put in your efforts for the team, but it is one to just hang on after that for if you are chasing the what would you say? You call them the napkins with the outboard motors on these climbs out here today? I think you might be muted, Dave, just as a heads up.
So, yeah, the cocktail napkin with the outboard
There we
motor
go.
attached. But this is such a unique challenge for our team time trial teams. Everything you described for riders is true. Punchy riders will excel on this course, but finding a team that is able to make it work out there because, yeah, there's a lot of vertical gain. It comes at you like a jagged saw when you look at the course profile. 28K of racing. It's going to be a long 28K. No doubt about it. This course was never designed in real life to be a team time trial course, and that's the beauty of WTRL, is we're into our 142nd consecutive week of racing that we get to take on these unique challenges. And what a way to start the year. Happy New Year, everybody, by the way.
Happy
Let's
New
get
Year
it on
for sure.
out here.
This is first giving it the first go out here today. Going to be a lot of fun. Fun, type 2 kind of fun. We're going to jump right on in with the aliens actually out there today. They are in our espresso category. Things a little bit different this week, and make our way through and start taking a look at some time splits and checks. One of the things I do want to highlight is the course records as well. It's always kind of cool to see what those are all about for the course that we are on. And as you can see here, UCI 2019 World's Harrogate course for 2 laps, 28.2 kilometers. It's going to be the usual Sox for Watts WRT at the top with a 40.06 Z Sun Pluto. They've holding down the current course record at a 43.54. TT1 Sugar Rush, that may be a new time. I'm wondering perhaps. Aero Flyers there from the Vienna, and it's going to be PO Auto. I'm assuming that's an old school time that got set there, Dave, as they've been around quite a long time. La Bamba's there as well. Kirchmer, Cryogen Waka Wakas, and Sydney Cycling Friends. That is the current course records there. A 36-minute flat, that's going to be tough to beat, I believe. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah, that goes back to the heyday of PO Auto Ceramic. I wouldn't be too surprised if that Sox for Watch WRT time came on the same day of racing. We'll have to get our statisticians at work here. But Pawaka Wakas, that would be more recent, to tell you the truth, as we get a good look. Now, 2 laps out here on, this was the finishing circuit used in Yorkshire, in Harrogate. What an amazing Worlds this was back in 2019. And one thing that we certainly learned is the terrain is rugged. There's going to be some heavy legs by the time they finish lap number 1 out here, Nathan. We're in our coffee classes today, and we'll try to dig up as much information as we can. But a team right now just coming into 6.1K, this is a good job right here. You can see the gradient swinging up and down 1 to 2% difference here, but it gets very steep at some points. But keeping the team together here, rolling, I would have to say, this looks like as good as you could hope at this point in the race, Nathan.
Yeah, Carl Rose, David Gilbert, it's going to be Greg Gilson, Jared Else, Kevin Briggs, Moira Brailsford, Roland Browning, and Trent Stevenson hammering away here on the Innovation Alien Invaders that are being chased down by a mainly all German team behind them, led by Alex Prim, I believe. That's going to be Schmier's Freight Espresso chasing them down, and they've got some good form. Look at this, Dave. When you talk about team time trial, talk about some solid, really solid ability here, it looks like, from this all-German team. Well, mainly German.
Yeah,
wow. One Austrian flag in there, excuse me.
Yeah, very well organized right now, as they are just at the same point we were looking at out here on the course, 28K of racing. You're going to have to help me out here, Nathan. I don't know what coffee class we're looking at here.
Yeah, a little bit different out here. So we are in the espressos. Apologies on that. We will not have
Espressos, all right.
just for today. We will most likely not have the little A, B, C, or D next to the names as we were able to uh, throw down a little bit of insider tech to make this happen out here today. So on the right hand side, though, you can see that all mainly German, but one Lemp it's going to be, I believe, that's going to be Alexander Lemp. That is the only rider that does not have a German flag, obviously, next to them.
Uh,
55, I believe, is the top number, though. 58, actually, excuse me. Matthias Chemnitz has done 58 team time trials, actually.
wow. So again, into our 142nd consecutive as for the second time they just completed Alpe de Zwift very, very recently. One of the most unique days of team time trialing that we see. This team that we're looking at is talent free, as Nathan mentioned. I have them as entirely German, at least with what I'm looking at with Matthias Chemnitz, Magnus Buischein, Jan Jokel, Christian Group, Benjamin Axt, Bastian Van Hain, and then the aforementioned Alex here. As you know what, I think Yannick Boosman might be on loan from Kirkmeyer e-cycling out here right now.
And that's a good loan if you're coming from Kirkmeyer. Always a squad to be watching out for, that's for sure. Cycling Power Speed Freaks are right behind them. Well, actually, a little bit of a gap has opened up already. So these boys are flying, I would have to say. This Smurfs Frey Espresso, I have a feeling, maybe battling for a top spot out here today because they have brought it back to 38 seconds, 40 seconds. The Innovation Alien. Innovation Aliens are usually no joke to be messing with. Cycling Power also another team that we need to be watching out for a lot, and they've really been making a splash, but they have lost 38 seconds already to the mainly all German team ahead of them. As you do see the Danes here making the chase on the downhill, coming into their first King of the Mountain, 7 kilometers in 10 minutes racing down for them so far.
Certainly an aggressive pacing schedule being set by the German squad. The Danish team here is going to be E. Reimann, talking about team cycling power. This is a team that has come on strong recently, a real force to be reckoned with. Johannes Sorensen, Kenneth Davidson, again, all Danish on this squad. Lars Boigland, Mikkel Flegling, Mikkel P., Simon Slotspeak, and Steen Jespersen making up the cycling power team. We've seen them actually in their home studio racing in Cam. We're hopefully going to have a chance to talk and visit with Galaxy and learn more about the Magpies in our women's race starting at 11. Well, actually, my time, mountain time, let's call it 45 minutes past the hour is the best way to put it for everybody around the world. So the women will be out on the course pretty soon. Right now, we've got the men about halfway into the first of 2 laps here in Yorkshire on the UCI 2019 Worlds course here. This is a monster day of racing.
Looking at the ART team, Art Photons now hammering away as they make their way over the top of this climb for the first time, and they have made up a lot of time actually already on that cycling power team ahead of them. It's only 10 seconds to make the catch. So ART are absolutely flying. One thing I'm definitely noticing as we get into ZRL starting next week, a lot of practice I think is happening right now, Dave, because TTTs are going to be coming at them in the ZRL. And just, I think teams kind of trying to get that organization. Hey, can you get on Discord? How's your logins going? All that kind of stuff. Just showing up for a team time trial like this can bring that team camaraderie as well as cohesion together, I think. And as we look at these teams, most of them are showing up with at least 7, if not the full roster of 8 today.
That's a good point that you make. That camaraderie that you get and what has made WTRL, the World Tactical Racing League, so popular is exactly that. Getting together with your people, racing out there, leaving it all out on the course or the sweat underneath your smart trainer. But ultimately, when you get into courses that are what you call pure team time trial courses, there isn't as much of that camaraderie. It's really just rolling through, doing your job, coming off the front, getting ready to get as charged up as you can to do it again. Out here, there's a lot more interplay between the riders, motivating each other to get over these short, steep climbs as we watch a catch being made out here very early, only 8.6. Well, I say only 8.6K in. You're about a third of the way into the race at this point, or not quite, but close to there, thereabouts. And still, obviously, a great indicator here for a team on a very good day. A
Yeah,
little tough making a catch on a set.
ART definitely absolutely flying as they've also gained 20 seconds on the Jet team. It looks like as we see Kramer out of the Netherlands there, Beatty there as well out of the US of A, Raymond coming out of the UK, and I think the rest of that Jet team is a mainly Japanese squad are going to be coming out of Japan. They do have their new in-game kit. Always like to celebrate and highlight those that have earned their kit in game. And Jet here, it looks like absolutely having a stellar day, but not quite on the same level as what we were seeing there, I think, from an ART team, as there was a little bit of a gap there, about 20 seconds or so to the team that started ahead of them. It does look like, though, when we talk about time gaps, is there a team missing between Evo and Jet, or perhaps Evo just not having the kind of day that some of these other riders may be having? Jet flying. Look at the kind of
Well,
watts that they're putting out here. 528 from Kramer right now.
yikes. Yeah, apologize for the lack of splits. We're working with a little bit less data than we normally have, so thank you for hanging in there with us out there. Nate, that gives us a chance, though, to kind of break down what WTRL is all about, as this is an integral part of the ZRL, which is just about to kick off its next season, Season 2, coming up here in just a few days. A lot of excitement building for that. Team time trialing is a big part of being successful out there. Now, the numbers are a little bit different, but the spirit remains the same. In WTRL, the teams start with a maximum of 8 riders. Time taken off of your 4th rider across the line. It sounds pretty simple, but getting to that point can be really, really interesting on how do you want to play things. It's a little bit easier here. Almost every rider on a Tron bike, so that equals one equation out for you. You can see not everyone, but just about, as different teams will use different tactics and bicycles and aerodynamics, and it all comes into play. That's for sure. I heard you and Anna Russell talking about even adding different components, Nathan, having a factor in how aerodynamic or suited your bike is for certain terrain. Is gravel became a big part of the success, I would say, of the ZRL's recent season. The more exciting the racing is, the more animated it is, the better it is for not only the racers but those watching as well. So we got a good look out here. Again, it's 28K of total racing, 10K in, so just past a third of the way for the Japanese team. We're going to jump around and look at some of the other squads out here. This is going to be Team Type 1 and the Gluconauts that we've got in the 100th year since the discovery of insulin. It's certainly been a big, big year for Team Type 1, that is for sure, as we get a chance to look at a team that has had a huge impact in the world of cycling. And I get the feeling we might have changed coffee classes here as well.
Yeah, jumping around a little bit here. And I believe we're going to see if we can jump. I believe we're jumping on over into the latte. This is going to be the latte crew as we're in with the team at Type 1 Gluconauts. It should be Odell and crew in here. Or perhaps this is going to be the Lance. No, this is the Gluconauts. I think you're correct about that. Lancets as well are going to be out on course, also riding for Team Type 1. And so we're going to see if we can find the rest of the TT1s. It's great to have them, though, across so many categories for sure. You know, very well represented. And, you know, for those that may be newer, it is a talking point that we have a lot of times out here when we do jump in with Team Type 1, that it's both riders that do have Type 1 diabetes as well as family members that are part of the lifestyle and exercise that comes alongside of that, Dave.
Yeah, that's really been, if you wanted to sum up their mission, it's really about educating folks that don't let diabetes limit yourself. Get control of your diet, get exercising, and nothing but good things will happen. The camaraderie that this team has built really celebrates and builds on that, as we've seen, Nathan, with literally hundreds of Team Type 1 riders. This is also, Nova Nordisk is a professional cycling team that's all Type 1 diabetics. It's really amazing how inclusive they've been, and it really goes all the way to the first-time Zwifter who's literally thinking about getting on their Zwift trial here right now. You're part of the team, that's for sure. As keep up the good work to all our friends at Team Type 1. It looks like we're going to find a team right now that is finding its center out here, ZR Scott. See all these beautiful Scottish flags.
Yeah, it's a great team. Always out here, very committed to it. Looks like a little bit of separation though going on with ZR Scott here at this point. As we jump in with them, we'll see if they can get things a little more organized as they come over the top of their climb.
That's what these climbs will do, Nathan. I mean, that's really, it's no surprise to see this, is it? The climbs will, the stronger riders really have to learn how to govern their effort, and the riders just really need to dig deep and try to hang in there with the team as long as you can. But it's not easy. Let's be fair.
This is going to be the Mocha class that we have jumped in with. Just a heads up there. Mocha class that we have jumped in with as they make their way up and over the top here with ZR Scott. This is going to be the Thistles, I believe, for ZR Scott. Andy Craig, Andrew Roger, Craig McDermott, John McNabb. It's going to be Margaret Louise Mackey, Paul Hewins, Sarah Watt, and Val Kerr. And it is going to be a mixed category, obviously, in the first race that we jump out on, and then the women's only does go off in about 10 minutes from now. So this mixed team having a good race, it looks like, as they've brought back some time on the Art Kryptons just ahead of them.
And we love Atomic Racing Team as well, Nathan, as these are two of the cornerstone teams that we've got out here in WTRL world having a real battle. They're getting close to completing lap number 1. Second time around gets no easier. As a matter of fact, you might even argue that it gets a little bit tougher out here as they make their way through Harrogate right now, back into town. What an amazing World Championships this was. A lot of rain this week there in England, that's for sure. Wasn't as quite as beautiful. There are a few moments like this, but living in a Zwift world has a lot of upside, that's for sure. We take a look at ART Fusion now. Again, we're in with our Mocha. We use the coffee classes for WTRL, I should say. As this is Team NL that we're in with now. Is we got to look at I'm not sure today exactly where we're at, but peak Zwift season is underway. That's for sure. And WTRL does not hurt when you start tallying up the number of riders who are out on Zwift worldwide. I think I heard 38,000 the other day when I checked in on that, Nathan. People on Zwift at any one moment.
Yeah, somewhere around that. I did get a couple of messages actually from Zwift Insider directly about what kind of numbers are being thrown down out there, and it was in the mid to high 30s actually for riders online at a single time. So we are getting close to peak Zwift times right now. I believe this is going to be the WCC Dragons right now in this Mocha class. They're going to have Claire Bruce, Lisa Gavou, Mark Q, Matt Hazelwood. It's going to be Richard Griffiths, Robert Vanderwall that we are looking at right here out of also riding for Team NL, I think, as well. And then Steve Hales, Stuart Ogden, and William Maskery all riding for the WCC Dragons, having a solid ride. Looks like they were able to bring things back together. A little bit of separation earlier there, Dave. But it looks like they're, in the Mocha categories, we do tend to see that a little bit more often, and it looks like they're bringing it back together, though.
Yeah, that's one of so not only the process of learning how to team time trial, more experienced riders learn how to fill in the gaps and how to feather things a little bit, but also just the difference in talent and ability level in some of the teams. Like I would think that in Mocha, you'd see that number is a little bit higher than it would be up in the Doppio. When you look at course records out here, I mean, to think getting around this course 2 laps in 36 minutes flat, that is absolutely mind-blowing when you think how fast the elite of the elite athletes are out here.
Yeah, the 36 minutes flat. I mean, this is almost a single lap for some of the riders here. So they had to
Yeah,
been
for
pulling
me, I'm like, I'd be
six.
happy to get it done in 36, right? So that means they
Definitely
would be
flying.
lapping me. They'd be lapping me by the time I finished my first lap.
Exactly. I
It's
mean,
almost like moving
pretty
backwards in time. Yeah, or eons. Yeah, yikes.
some amazing, amazing times that do get set out there. That's for sure by some of these
There's a
riders.
great quote, Nathan, that I don't know if you've heard this one. I certainly haven't used it here with this audience, but the Greg LeMond was. I don't know if Greg was able to co-opt that from somewhere, but saying that it never gets easier. You just go faster, right? I mean, just
Absolutely true. And
those.
I've used that one myself
I
as
like
well
that.
here and there. I think it's a
Yeah,
great one.
it's just a truism, right? Because when these guys are out here doing 2 laps, that the team that did that was it Volendam? No, it was Pio Auto, wasn't it?
Pio
Pio Auto
Auto. I mean,
Ceramics Speed.
very
It-
similar time frame though, and that's funny how we talk about it because there's different seasons for different domination. You know what I mean when it comes to these teams. And
right. It's
Volendam
like
and
the
Pio Auto were
Chinese
kind of around
dynasties.
that same time when it was like, what is happening here as far as the top tier teams? And Pio Auto and Volendam definitely were around that same exact time.
Yeah, they had a similar arc out there. It's like Chinese dynasties, right? There was. Oh, you're going to have to help me out here. What was the name of Lucy Charles' team before we saw the absolute amazing run? Um, uh, I'm stuck on Red Bull for some reason, which has nothing to do with it at all. Well, I was a sponsor of Lucy Charles Barkley, but um, we've seen some teams. Sox for Watts, their run, they weren't there from the beginning, and we've seen other teams like Sisu. I race like a girl. Come on, really, really strong, and no one can stay on top forever. Is a good way to put it in the WTRL. And now that Nathan, we're into 142 consecutive WTRLs, you start to think, well, we're really into kind of like our third or fourth phase now, aren't we? Of the top teams and just the pecking order when you look at the results every week. There's always going to be new teams and new countries. Virtue Slow, our Slovenian friends. It's been really cool to watch them come on strong. Or all the riders out of the NZ Bro stable coming out of New Zealand. But if you go back to the first 50 races, you don't see any Pawaka Wakas there, do you?
Yeah, that's definitely true. You don't. You have a um, completely
Group of birds.
new group. Yeah, group of birds. The Waka Wakas threw me off there a little
Yeah.
bit. The names there, but completely new flock of birds coming on through the aisle here.
New
But
flock. Yeah. Good.
yeah, now jumping in though, we did
Some
find the
things don't
Magpies.
change.
This is going to be who we're
Yeah.
focusing on here, and they did a
And
great
these
job
guys
of
have been
sending us
around
through
forever.
a ton of information here. Well, some of them, Ali Creelan, she's been around for 5 years on Zwift, which is pretty
Wow.
amazing to see. She's really a triathlete in training. Favorite Zwift route, she says out there. Anything riding with a bunch of mates. That's awesome to see. Really, the social side. Her biggest accomplishment was to break a 1 hour on the Alpe d'Huez, which she did last week. So great job
Get out of
from
here.
Creelan. Yeah,
Good for
this is
her. So right during the
pretty awesome to
holidays,
see.
when the rest of the world was putting on 5 pounds, Allie was out there. That's Allie Krellin, right? That you're talking about, Nathan?
Correct. From the
Yeah,
Magpies. Yep.
good for her. That is really, really awesome. Speaks to dedication, too. I see this team has Edmund Rebelo racing, 18 months on Zwift. He trains a ton doing intervals with us out here, but um, you're going to be jealous, Nathan. As a matter of fact, this isn't going to make you happy because he's going to Cape Epic in 3 months. How pumped is he?
Woo!
So he loves mountain biking, totally stoked about heading to Cape Epic, and he wants to be in shape when he gets there. He's using Zwift just right. What if
Yeah,
he
and
needs a
that's a
teammate?
lot
Like,
of hours that need to go in. I mean, Cape Epic is no joke, that's for sure. So I've had a couple of
what a cool
athletes
experience.
actually do it, and it's definitely one of those. Um, you feel like you're going into battle day in and day out in the middle of kind of a little bit of a war, but camaraderie as well next
Totally.
to it. So
Well,
pretty cool experience.
and something that, I mean, I know a lot of people use Zwift for this, but in a big picture, you can completely check out on the rest of what's going on in the world and just enter your own personal Cape Epic world, right? Where the racing and the camaraderie and the experience and living in that moment, which is something I know so many people covet, that's for sure. How about Chris O'Connor on this team, Nathan? 25 months on Zwift. He's definitely shown some real ambition out here as he gets ready for, well, I had to double check this now. He wants to ride, race, and prepare for 2023 over 60 national time trial championships. Um, he's been into it for sure. He actually organizes a charity bike ride in real life. Um, Certainly awesome for his karma, and we really love having Chris O'Connor out here with us.
Yeah, absolutely great. As well as Steve O. I like it when the A Steve, for those that know Strong Bad. Good to have him out here hammering away with us. And I believe, is this going to be then Steven that was written up here, perhaps? As it's Steve O,
I think so.
Steven? I'm going
I'm
to
going to say
assume.
yes. The
Okay,
team
so
captain,
17
right?
months on Zwift. Yeah, this will be the man. And Kiwi, it looks like by the flag, Zwift accomplishment V. Eversted back on April 2021. 12 hours that it took him. He loves espresso with coconut oil. I'm with you there, buddy. I actually take that often. So we're in
I
the
have never even heard of that.
well, there's that. There's a couple of
That
different ways that you can do it, but that's one of the ways. And it actually it gives you a little bit of a boost in
so not CBD, but obviously that's not coconut.
no,
But
it's a keto thing. It's so
yeah, right. What is it called again? That oil, like it's something. It's like
something
it has
weird.
a
I
little
put it in this
initials, I
morning, and now
think.
you're like you're doing the thing where if you get forced to think of it, you don't think of it. That's what just
Can't
happened
right,
to
right.
me.
But no,
Um,
so it's supposed like it helps suppress
M3,
your
isn't it?
appetite, right?
M3, M3. Right. It
I
does
think you're right.
that, but it's supposed to have a little bit of a boost in your production of ketones, especially if you are already fasted. So in the morning,
You
if
know,
you do
so
that,
metabolism,
and
right? Like,
yeah, if you do that, and then it's supposed to supposedly. I'm no scientist. I don't know what biologically happens with it, but by putting that in the gut and going into the bloodstream with your coffee, it's supposed to kickstart the same process that creates ketones. And
MCT.
ketones, MCT oil. Thank you very much.
Yep.
And then it also ketones are a source of energy as well as a kind of a firing for the brain as well. So it can tend to give you a little bit of extra, kind of like, I don't know, St. John's wort or some of these other, supplements that you can take
Yeah,
for
yeah.
brain power, essentially. So good to see
I
that
think
he's
it's been a
on
pretty
that.
big. Yeah, that's team captain that we're talking about. He can make 3.6. Everybody would wish 6.3. 3.6 watts per kilo. 17 months on Zwift, and he's got a very well organized team here right now as we've got the CrowdGen Magpies on screen. Nathan, they have, let's call it 6K of racing remaining here. The back nine of the second lap for the Magpies.
Yeah,
Magpies are
and
one of the very smart birds, um, unbelievably smart. My crow tech plan, using crows as personal protection. Magpies would even be a step above. That would be
crows keep
the
coming up.
platinum standard.
They keep
Yeah.
coming up on
Well,
the broadcast, actually.
ravens, magpies, these are the elite thinkers in the bird world. I would imagine they would put an ostrich or an emu to shame with their brain power.
Thomas Cherdahl, 13 months on Zwift. He's got a 3.2 watt per kilogram FTP. It sounds like this is his first week as a B category rider, suffering and making it with the pack. It looks like good on him. His ambition is to be a strong, reliable B, and most likely looking
Well, he
toward the
proved that.
ZRL, I think, and he
He's
is
here at
proving that.
22K, so
Good
I think
call.
that yeah, you're reliable, dude.
He once
This
said that he
this is a
loved the
tough
Alp to
course.
Zwift, and he said it because of the Tron bike. It looks like he's got his Tron bike now, so
So
I don't know if that love is
so he's
lasting any
backpedaling.
longer.
So, but what he's saying is, I only love the Alp Zwift because I needed the vertical gain, right? I don't think he's there after he got the bike. I'm gonna guess he wasn't as frequently seen on the Alp Zwift.
His favorite
We'll
Zwift
have to,
route, he says, is anything flat, and I love this. His
so that
Zwift
kind of fits my
accomplishment
theory.
is a third in a crit city race. So I absolutely
Not a
love
climbing.
how into the Zwift racing though that they are, and obviously this whole crew is looking forward to their racing as Magpies in the ZRL. I can just
Well,
feel it coming off of them right now.
Well, Anna Russell would look at these guys and just say chapeau. Everything about what they're doing here is dialed. They've all got the same bike, the same kit. I think the socks might even be custom to the rider to help know who's who out there. If they're taking it to that
That
level.
actually may be that you might be right about that actually. Oh,
If not, guys, just say I'm right, please. I need a win.
Who else we got here? We've got Craig Bartoloni is on here. I am cool C grade rider, he says, and his strengths are on shorter routes. Can do high C.
Self-acknowledged,
Yeah.
self-acknowledged cool guy.
Yeah, self-acknowledged, 100%. He is just a
Yeah.
cool guy.
Well, then
And
I'll
Mark
add.
Heaney
I'm
as
going to
well.
say
He's
you're
a
cool.
late entry and a newcomer to the team this week. Welcome, Mark. And good job out there killing it. Looks like they only got 4 left, so Mark didn't make it to this part, but definitely wanted to highlight him as well.
Well, he did say to his credit that he was planning on being the engine room on lap 1. So mission accomplished there.
Good job on
Talking about
that.
Mark Heaney.
Yeah. And
Got it. You know what? That's a good learning point, Nathan. All kidding aside, that understanding what you can do to help the team, if you can help set pace for 1 lap, and then aren't going to make it for the second lap, you've done the team a bigger favor than sitting on for a lap and a quarter. Follow me there?
Yeah,
just being there, being present doesn't do anything for the team if you're not working. And if he was able to work in that first lap, yeah, good for you.
So, just real quickly here, jumping in with back from, and this is I'm just doing this quick just because this is kind of fun that we're out on a world course with a world champion, not one on this course necessarily, I don't believe, but back here from
Is this
Sweden.
This is the Para World Champions jersey,
Para
correct?
World Champion, correct. She is
right?
a Para World Champion, multi times. So always great to see her out here, and really, really honored a lot of times, I think, in the community with the kind of level that shows up for these TTTs. You would be so surprised, right? Like you jump into this broadcast, you're like, what's happening here? There's these avatars, they're rolling around. You see these watts, you see these heart rates, these numbers.
Who are
and then
these
you recognize,
people?
Wait, these people are world champions, like over and over again, especially amongst the ladies here in this espresso level. I mean, you just end up with these insane level of racing that I'm just like, it's a huge honor to be able to broadcast and commentate on, honestly.
I agree. Remember the first time we had Ashton Lambie out here? And I multiple friends saying,
freaked out. I'm not kidding.
That's the
you
real?
Freaked out. You freaked out so much. You were like, what is happening here? You did. I remember it so clearly. I remember it so clearly. It was great.
And I just thought, you know what? That reminds me of why I got into racing and why it became such a passion that's been part of my life for, since I was 10 years old. Is like, it's incredibly cool to think that I don't know these days, Nathan, are we at 8 billion people on planet Earth? We're probably getting close to that if we're not there already. And to think that Ashton Lambie is the fastest guy in the history of every single human being who's lived to ride his bike over an established distance that makes sense, 4K. right? I just think that's awesome that he's out here with us. Not today, but he certainly is out here with us on Zwift quite a bit, and he's been with us before. We've got a really exciting racing season to look forward to coming up with the ZRL, and it looks like is this Virtue
Cox for
Slow?
Watts and Virtue Slow and the rest of the Vienna Espresso that are out here today. Let's shout them out quick. And then we are going to head on over to our lattes, though, as we do have a featured team. We definitely want to jump in with the Galaxy ladies. But this is going to be the Vienna Espressos that we did jump over to, and it will be, or perhaps the Vienna Frappes, excuse me. It looks like the Vienna Frappes are a little bit stacked today. That's why I thought it was the Espressos, but DDC is in here. Virtuslow, no doubt. We got Soxwatts, Odd Sox, as well as Aeonian Bravas. Kirchner Vienna Frappe are out here. The WTRL What's Up on Fire. TSC Cinnamon Rose, and that's where Anna Beck is hanging out that we were highlighting as well. And Coalition Amalthea are all in with the Vienna Frappes. We will jump back to them in a moment, but I definitely wanted to just highlight what a high level of racing is happening there. And the Vienna Espressos, it is Crush Bob, Affogatos, and CCR Race Like a Girl holding it down for us, but just those two teams today.
Well, there's, again, part of the success of WTRL has been given competitive athletes who didn't have an outlet to race or compete an opportunity to do that from home. I don't know what the weather's like in Wisconsin, Nathan, but we're at 7
Are
degrees.
you not following me on Instagram? I thought everybody saw that.
Oh, I am. I was looking for an up to the moment, but I think we're pretty equal right now because it's 0
was like
degrees.
7 degrees. It was 7 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's funny. I just looked. It's literally 7 degrees right now here,
Fahrenheit?
so very similar.
Fahrenheit,
so,
yeah. So
Fahrenheit. Yeah, we should be clear, right?
Well, we got to be.
So that
clear.
is. I saw your post
because about the weirdos who like
negative 10, right?
Or whatever. It's negative 11.
Yeah.
Negative 11 Celsius. So.
Yikes.
And then a friend sent me, no big deal, negative 15 Fahrenheit, and this guy's surfing in Minnesota. So I don't know, like what's going on there in Minnesota, but.
I saw a hysterical meme the other day talking about how people in California respond to different temperatures as it plummets versus people in Wisconsin, right? Like at 32 degrees, people in California are fleeing the state from Mexico, where in Wisconsin, that means it's time for the final cookout of the year. You have to move this inside, right? So certainly a hardy group out there. This is Galaxy that we're in with now. So let me start, Nathan, by sending a shout out to a woman I'm a big fan of. I had a chance to announce an event with her in Utah at Salt Lake City, and that's Tiffany Pizzullo. Tiffany's a lawyer. I don't even think in the bio that I read from her that she even mentions that, but she has passed the bar. She was a national champion at the University of Colorado with the Buffaloes team. That was a heyday of racing collegiately for the Colorado Buffs, and has gone on to become a mom. She has a 9-year-old son, the D-Man, and just a very, very popular, positive part of cycling culture. Has been a champion as well in the USA Crit Series, but I think her real strength has been being inclusive and keeping folks enjoying racing and having fun out there. And I just saw, Nathan, Giovanna Fontecchio, who's the one who really put this whole thing together. But that was Tiffany Pizzullo that I've been talking about here.
Yeah,
working hard
right now. She's got only 4 races, actually. The only will be Femme Vassin is 3. So what's really interesting here is it looks like there's been some really serious recruiting going on for this team, because Galaxy Supernova Velocity, I think, has been around for a while with Giovanna, Karen Vanderack, and Rhiannon Needham. I think those 3 are kind of the foundation as far as the OG Zwifters here.
Right.
They have 61, 28, and 48 TTTs. Everyone else is in the single digits here, including Tiffany here. So we'll see what they can pull off with the additions to this roster, I think, in the TTT, as well as looking forward to the ZRL.
Yeah, this is exactly what we were talking about earlier, Nathan. New teams, because I hadn't heard of Galaxy before, but obviously they've got organization, they've got camaraderie, and I'm going to expect that we hear a lot more about the Supernovas here as they're out again, just like the racing you saw earlier in our mixed category, this is the women that are taking over in Yorkshire. This is the 2019 World Championship circuit that was used for the road races here. The time trial finished on this circuit, but didn't use the entire thing. The races have 28 total K over 2 laps out here today. And Nathan, I would rank this one as a 9 out of 10 on difficulty scale. This is one of the tougher courses that we race on all season long in WTRL.
Loving the look here coming from Boxy. It's going to be Eleanor Box hammering away right now out on screen. As you can see, looking pretty comfy. And I like the setup here from Eleanor. As you can see, the using
climber setup, right?
iPad. Yeah. I think to Zwift as well here. And smiling away.
Oh, yeah.
Right now at 239 watts. Eleanor's smashing it here. About to hit the KOM, though, Queen of the Mountain. We'll see what kind of smiles are happening at that point. But I think out of all of the riders I'm currently seeing on camera, she looks the most comfortable.
She has got a sterile setup, a wattage laboratory right now. You can see she gets a little bit of a break here. Eleanor, good job out there. So this is how you build a team, right? You don't build a house without a foundation, right, Nathan? And this foundation has clearly been established, and now it's just going to be nothing but an upward trajectory for the team. Look at the gradient there up in your upper right-hand corner. You can see it going to 6%. That's pretty steep, all in all. It definitely gets steeper out here or in the real life, but this is a legitimate climb that we're on, and Eleanor Box looks like a cocktail napkin with an outboard motor attached to it, Nathan.
Yeah, Eleanor joined the Zwift community in 2019 and got addicted after trying her first Crit City race. Her general club riding sportifs, PRU Ride London, Dragon Ride Wales. Wow, she's done a lot of crazy like Grand Fondos. She did 100 Malibu Cookie Dough Grand Fondo. I mean, it just
oh really? She's an American.
Alpduez and Gibraltar, California. Well, I see a UK flag next to her name. Interesting enough, though. But
yeah, interesting.
Her Zwift power profile has a picture that looks like it's in France. So she does a lot of traveling. It looks like when it comes to cycling.
Yeah, she works in pharmaceutical sales. I have a feeling, Nathan, that she's from UK and came over. Now, Phil Guyman, the Malibu Cookie Dough Grand Fondo, that's his event. Really, really popular. Obviously, Malibu, California. It doesn't get nicer than that. And I could see someone making a trip from the United Kingdom to come over to do that event because, yeah, you can see that she's definitely ridden some of the, like,
okay, I gotta laugh at what she put in here. Fun fact, human interest. I mean, all of this that we just said is extremely interesting. It says, I can't think of anything special. I must be pretty boring. No, I don't think so, Eleanor. And she's like, oh my goodness. Hammering away as they're halfway up the climb. It looks like Boxy leading it up here. And I think she is going to be the climber on this course for them.
Yeah, and this is where, yeah, the Galaxy team, that's who we're with here today. You learn how, for her, the name of the game is not to go as fast as you can up this climb. It's to set the fastest pace that the rest of the team can sustain as well. And she really is getting that. This is impressive. Eleanor Box, you are my hero. I haven't seen someone respond quite like that as well in a long time. She's obviously situationally aware. This is the kind of teammate that you want. No doubt about it, Eleanor.
Jumping on over to FM Vasson as she is hammering away now as well. Really solid effort here. Sitting in that 4th position, I believe, coming out of the Netherlands.
Yeah, you know, Nathan, when you mentioned that we were going to have the honor of Galaxy joining us today, I thought the team was entirely Dutch. But it looks like there's a heavy Dutch element here as Femke Vassen is the rider that we're with now. She qualifies, put a check mark next to Dutch there. She's been Zwifting for 14 months. So she's a triathlete, which is extremely cool to me. And she and her husband both clearly enjoy getting outside, doing a lot of cool stuff together.
Getting a lot of chatter actually coming through for the Galaxy Gals. Allison H., Cassie Webster, Han V. We do see all of your chat coming on through over on the YouTube channel. Looks like Galaxy's pretty popular out here as all of the chats coming on through for them. And great to have her. Is on the bike Zwift since 14 months. It sounds like, and since she's Dutch, she's says she's born to ride bikes, and I have to agree with that.
Yep.
That seems to be how things work there in the Netherlands. Nothing spectacular as far as her accomplishments. She says Alpe d'Huez, de Fer and Col du Starin, and I've never done any of these climbs. Not even close. I have a book on my coffee table that was a birthday gift that looks at those climbs. I've never ridden those climbs, so I would say that's pretty special if those climbs have actually been done in real life. Perhaps just
Seriously.
she's from the Netherlands. It's like, oh yeah, I've just done the usual, no big deal here. Did
The Alpe d'Huez or whatever, right?
Like half this team has been on major cycling climbs.
Yeah.
What's even happening here with They are the galaxy of cycling.
It's funny, historically, the Alpe d'Huez has seen some amazing Dutch performances on that climb. And the Dutch corner is infamous. As a matter of fact, that's one of the all-time, if you look at the relationship between spectators or fans and athletes, that Dutch corner on Alpe d'Huez is infamous. They don't go there every year, obviously, but when they do, it's certainly incredibly special. And no one travels in Europe like the Dutch. To give credit where credit is due, Dutch are some of the most prolific travelers that you're going to find, without any doubt. Germans, Dutch, Northern Europeans, Nathan, really, really take to seeing the world. And having that worldview goes a long, long way.
Just getting some splits through, and I want to highlight how Galaxy are doing because of that, and we'll jump back in with some more information and live cams from them in just a moment. Looks like Crush Potter holding it down with a 10-10, 6 kilometers in these ladies' Vienna Latte. It's going to be Galaxy Supernova there. Velocity, the riders that we are jumping in with Vasson leading them up the little bit of an uphill grind right now as they head toward that sprint section. They've got a 10:27. Zed Scott Elba chasing them with Zedson Pluto as well on their heels. 4-second gap between those two teams, 10:49, 10:53. It's going to be Adam Racing Team Electrons, 10:57. Rave Against the Machine. A lot of buddies over on Rave Against the Machine. Solid ride so far with them with an 11:10. Be on the watch out actually for some more stuff coming from the infamous Molly Hahn. I believe she's going to be riding with them today. WTRL Cycling Pirates are there with an 11:21. That's your top 7 right now, 6 kilometers in.
We're joining the Galaxy team. That's the team in green out here on the World Championship circuit in Yorkshire. This is Karen van der Racht that we're with now, as also Dutch. She's been just racing for a couple of years, but clearly has shown some real talent for this, as she's been into gravel bike and bike packing, Nathan, which I don't think there's too many things that look like more fun than that to me. So obviously we were just talking about Dutch people loving the outdoors and traveling, and she checks that box as well. She's raced a couple ZRL seasons in the community, done the Tour de Boudica as well, which is one of our favorite races, no doubt about it. And we're a big fan of athletes like this. She came over to Zwift because of issues with trail running, which also, doesn't that look like fun? You ever trail run?
Yeah, no.
No. I was kidding. It doesn't look like fun to me either.
Well, sorry. I'm sorry. It probably is lots of fun for Karen.
So now
Karen's probably having an absolute
by
blast.
The trail running
yeah. All the
community.
all the trail runners. Even Karen's gonna you don't have to give the bird to the camera. That's all I'm gonna say right now. But this I have seen a lot of smiles and a lot of friends out there doing trail running. It's probably an amazing way. And one thing, being a mountain biker. Being a mountain biker,
it's sort of like mountain biking for running.
Very few races, like Ore to Shore, some of the bigger, like the Whiskey 50, like races like that. I think you can kind of take in the scenery a little bit as you go slower, or there's sections where you're drafting for a while and it's kind of open. But there's not many races in mountain bike racing. Where am I going with this? I know, Dave, that you're able to take in the scenery at all, because you're just like flying by it. It's just and you just don't hit a tree.
Too fast.
It's way too fast. And I could see with the trail running thing, like you're able to like you're running and just kind of
Yeah.
checking things out a little bit more while suffering, obviously. But the
Yeah, and
speeds
right
aren't
when you
so
run
much that
by
you're dodging trees or anything, you know?
and when you run by a cougar or a bear, you have plenty of time to stare it right in the eyes, right? Um, so Nathan, this shot right here, where Karen is riding, we've talked a lot over the years about pain caves, right? And some people, really go to elaborate measures to decorate or create a vibe, and other folks are clearly just, riding in a bathroom or a closet or trying to stay out of the way of the rest of their family. Well, check out. I don't think I've ever seen a more interesting background than Karen's there. Oh yeah, great, thank you. See this? Almost like heading into Narnia or something there on her wall.
What we're gonna have
How
to see if
cool
we
is
can get
that?
some information. What is
That
going
is
on there?
so Dutch. That is so Dutch. Like showing this unbelievable creativity. I'm going to guess that I don't know if she's an artist herself, but I have a feeling that that might be the case. That's Karen that we're talking about, part of the Galaxy team. Here's they're just about to complete lap number one. So they're going forward direction here. Nathan, this is the sprint climb that they are on. I walked up and down this hill about a million times in real life, going from the draft house that Swift had, uh, where Hannah and Matt and I had a chance to meet a ton of people up to the finish line area. So I know this hill well.
She says as a Dutchie, always been using a bike, so and more to the Dutch culture. Started racing though just 2 years ago. Uh, bike packing holidays on the gravel bike. I mean, this is just a part of the culture, obviously,
Just
right?
sounds like part of the
Like,
DNA of, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
I fully
And it
expect to
is.
have more Dutch bios. I want to know how much cycling happens in the world with Dutch people. Like if you had a percentage of cycling that happens in the world, right? And how much of that is just the
Well,
Dutch
I have a
flag?
number for you. So when you look at it, like the ratio of bicycles per person, in Holland, and it's obviously per capita, but in Holland, I believe it's for every one person that lives in the country, there's 2.5 usable, bikes in service is a good way to put it. So for every one person, there's 2.5 bikes. In a country like the United States, that number really changes dramatically. And the way that they use the bikes, not obviously racing is just a tip of the iceberg, if even that. It's just part of the culture and part of the success of keeping people healthy. And you look at all the kids riding their bikes to school. Holland sets an incredible example for the rest of the world.
Absolutely. It's actually been a place that when I was working with or speaking a little bit with our local Wisconsin Bicycle Federation, a lot of the studies that were being done about how to do a better job here municipally,
Yeah, look at,
how to look at
yeah,
what they have done so that because we just find ourselves in a bad situation. A lot of times there's this fight, oh, the motorists, oh, the cyclists, and it's like,
bike
no.
lanes and the
And it's
protected bike
like
lanes.
and
Right.
it's like the problem is not the people. The problem is the infrastructure. Like
Amen.
it was
Agreed.
made for two
We're
five
setting up
thousand pound
this for a fight.
vehicles, and now
Right.
we're yeah exactly. You're gonna put two people who are hungry into a room with only one cinnamon bun and leave them there for a week. Okay,
What do you think's going to
what's
happen?
gonna
Right.
happen? Like, right? Well,
Yeah.
maybe they'll share, I guess. But if they were already starving, about to die, they're gonna fight over it, right? Well, there's kind of that going on a little bit here when it comes to the situation we find ourselves in. And sorry, I'm getting on a soapbox because I love cycling so much, and so often my non-cyclist friends are like, "Ah, you're trying to cycle it," and I'm like, we're just in a bad situation with our
Hey,
infrastructure.
listen.
Netherlands have done an amazing job, is what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, Nathan. I mean, there's so many ways to look at it, but one thing I always laugh about is like, if you're in a car, how can you be mad at the cyclist? That's one less parking spot that's going to be taken when you get wherever you're going, right? So relax. Um, Everything's going to be cool, and you really have to create situations where it makes more sense to ride your bike. Make it easier for people to ride to work and have racks for people to safely lock their bikes. And yeah, we're coming a long way. I happen to live in Fort Collins, Colorado, which is in America a platinum standard of cycling communities, and we have a long way to go here, right? But um, I can look out my window and see a cyclist go by every few seconds during the busier parts of the day, which is extremely encouraging. So this is the woman who put the whole thing together for the team and certainly deserves a lot of credit as we've had a chance to enjoy being with the Galaxy squad. But Giovanna Fantacchio is the rider that we're with now. She's been doing team time trials with us for over 2.5 years. She's been there since almost day number one. Supernova Velocity, they've only been a team for 4 weeks here just in Platinum for the last 3 weeks, and they've already got some course records. She's the captain of the team and is just doing a tremendous job, this triathlete who has really, really stepped up here.
Yeah, it's great to have her, and I really appreciate the reach out that came from Giovanna, who has made all of this highlight happen. So, started doing triathlons, it looks like, back in June of 2016 at age 54. After joining Running Club in February 2016, had many successes in her age category, coming first in 2017, 7 times in 10 events.
Wow.
Cycling is her worst discipline, she says, actually. So she's increased her Zwifting, combining her training with racing while doing a great job here in the Vienna Lattes in a second place currently so far. Pretty cool to see. As far as work and family go, her partner Terry Flynn, a fellow Zwifter, is her mentor and unofficial coach. I wonder how that works. That's always an interesting dynamic in the house. But he gives lots of training and racing tips, which is awesome to see.
I see that they're planning on meeting up in London in May of 2022 to do the Ride London event. A lot of the Galaxy
there's going to be
team.
a bunch of the Galaxy team are going to
Yeah.
do Ride London in May of this year. Cool to see.
Good for them. That sounds like an awesome. I was just talking about coming over to Malibu. Well, for the Americans, head on. London is such a joy to visit. What a blast! I know you've been there, Nathan. I know. Extremely cool experience, isn't it?
Yeah, London's pretty awesome. Pretty.
It really is awesome.
Busy, but hustle city
Kind of like
life.
New York.
You gotta like city
Yeah,
life, that's for sure. For me, I like to visit. I don't know if I want to stay, but I love to visit, and it's great, tons of fun, and go and I'm the close quarter, constant go city life thing. I just kind of like them in between. I'm such a suburb dork. Oh my gosh, but. Yeah. Fun fact, though, here on Giovanna, she's a foodie who loves to cook, as if you didn't catch what the name there, many Italians do. Somehow managed to stay around 52 kilograms in weight. Daughter used to despair at how many pots and pans would use to make special meals that she does. We need photos of this for sure. This all needs to get shared. Just wait, didn't we have this like food thing we were doing? I don't know why this isn't in front of us right now. For the Galaxy highlight, we should be doing a taste test now.
Technically, I wouldn't call it a bribe, but it certainly doesn't hurt. Our friends from Sweden will always be in our hearts for all of the Martin. Thank you again, and Jim Withers with the honey, right? So, if you have something to share.
The whole Guerra family and my mom's side have now tried the Withers honey, so it's definitely popular around here. That's for sure.
It's popular here as well. I'm going to guess that Jim just seems like such a great guy, no doubt about it. And again, it's community, isn't it, Nathan? That's been really the thing that has made the most sense to me that I never would have thought existed in the world of Zwift. But once you get involved, you realize that's the secret sauce here, without any doubt, is the community. And I know it's interesting, isn't it, when you look back in the very early days when people were talking about that. I honestly thought to myself, I wonder what they really think is going to happen. Well, sure, we're correct. And it's you can look at the micro and the macro with that. And the micro is what an incredible experience these teams have with the camaraderie of racing together. And someone like Giovanna has put together a really cool thing here. And the fact that they want to get together in real life in London in May, it says a lot.
Zuzka Meskova, we're looking at now. Coming out of that's got to be Slovenia, right? I'm not. Am I off?
Let me look.
As type of racer, I think I might be stubborn endurance rider, refusing to get off the bike unless the badge is in the pocket. Love it. Don't ask me to sprint. My neurons are too slow for sprinting, she says. Yeah, but this is a TTT event, so she's bringing the FTP obviously to the front. As you see, 4.2 watts per kilogram right now. Don't need no sprint in that, as it looks like her in real life experiences going to have never been a sporty child, teenager, or adult, never won anything except for reading contests at the age of 10. Thus, there's no in real life accomplishments to mention. Wouldn't even dare to use clicking clipless pedals in real life. That's just crazy, he says. So, a pure Zwifter, but the thing is, we've seen some pretty amazing accomplishments come out of pure Zwifters like that.
Well, and here's the thing. Don't sell yourself short, Zuzka, because not many people would be kicking butt like you are out here right now. She's an athlete, Nathan. No doubt about it. And look at this. Crush Pod 2, 2030 at 12K. That's close to finishing lap number 1. But Galaxy Supernova Velocity, the team that we've been enjoying spending time with here, they are only 6 seconds back. They are in the mix. The conversation is going to be very interesting here because these two teams are in a mano-a-mano battle right now, as it looks like it's going to be ZR Scott and Zed Sun R are fighting for third out here. ART, the mighty Electrons at 21:44, sitting in fifth. Rave Against the Machine, 22:13 in sixth. And WTRL Cycling Pirates, they're our seventh quickest team. We'll wait to see. And there it is. Splits filling in all over the place out here right now as Galaxy Supernova Velocity is the first team through that check at 18K, 28K of racing. So they went through that a couple of minutes ago. We'll start updating all of the teams here. What a day for Galaxy Supernova. Let's see if they can pull this one off, Nathan.
Yeah, and it's always great to get the features. We really appreciate them. But when we get the winning team on the feature, or at least in the conversation for the win, it's so much better. So cool. Great effort here coming on through from Galaxy. So this is specifically coming from Moscova, actually, that her family does not understand her passion for Zwifting at all. I really tried hard to explain it. They don't deserve to be mentioned here. There you go, folks. Oh my gosh, she's hilarious. Who doesn't deserve to be mentioned? Fellow Zwifter Mark Polisek. I thought Slovaks are sort of steady mainstream, not sticking our heads out in the car. It sounds like Marek Polisek proved me wrong. Thanks, Swift, for introducing us. May he ride
so that was
far and safe.
Slovakian versus Slovenian.
Oh, okay.
Is that what we're saying? I'm sorry. I was looking at.
I think it's the same. Aren't they the
same? It's not the same. Slovenia is more kind of down.
Big trouble now.
But Italy.
Huge trouble
Slovakia. Slovakia is part of the former
right.
Czechoslovakia,
right.
where
it is Slovakia.
Right,
and this is Slovakia. Yep, that's exactly. You were 100%.
Peter
right.
Sagan.
I'm in huge trouble.
Well, you know what, Nathan? We're going to cut you some slack. You do an incredible job there, and also are operating about 8,000 different machines. I mean, you invented how to broadcast the WTRL, and I don't think many people thought this would be even possible, as Zuzka Meskova right now is driving on the front here on that green Tron bike. Very well put together. She's having a fantastic. Can you believe that she was giving herself a hard time for not being able to use clipless pedals that well?
Yeah, I mean, she's doing an amazing job here, and I
want
to give her a huge shout out for the progress that she's made as well with her personal goals. She herself described formerly overweight,
seriously,
and now at a BMI of 34.9, and has made a huge comeback from that. Said it was currently a midlife crisis, and now being a part of the Zwift community, killing it as well. And she's been taking
that's what it's all about
as well.
Yeah, I mean, we focus so much time and energy, and rightfully so, on the very best racers.
She's even mentioning it. She's even mentioning it that she's watching the broadcast and like, just give me a smack. I need a smack across the head emojis all over my. Just call it out. Appreciate it very much, Moscova, and great job out there today.
Yeah, these are the stories that make you proud to be part of this community. for sure. This is a very international team, isn't it?
It really is.
Talking
It
about
really
Galaxy
is.
here.
In the red zone,
I
she
wonder
said.
how
In the
they
red zone.
originally connected. Uh,
That is
Tiffany
that's
Pazzulo's.
one of those. That's one of those questions for all the teams, right? Like you get these.
Yeah, what was the catalyst for
Yeah,
this?
how did
What?
they all
What?
connect?
Yeah.
Because there's so many teams that are out here connecting like this, and always really
And
interesting to
you
try and figure
wonder.
that out.
So Nathan, all the time in the forums, you see like I'm a B racer, looking for a team, racing in America's East, that kind of thing, like the Craigslist of Zwift. Um, but ultimately, it seems a little more organic to me a lot of times with the teams. It can go a bunch of different directions, but usually there seems like it's a mix, actually, of a couple of the riders know each other in real life, and then they some of them bring in friends, that they've met online but have never actually raced with, and you end up with this really just an interesting group of people that come together, and then they start bonding, and the camaraderie that we talk about really starts to kick in. Yeah, I wanted to give a shout out, Nathan, to uh, Andrew Jenis, AJ, they call him, just had his booster and isn't racing tonight, but I did want to say thanks for getting your booster.
Out
I
there
really hope it.
recovering, good on him recovering,
Yep,
taking it
but not
easy.
feeling great, but
Yeah,
he'll be back.
seen a lot of, but good on him. Looking through here for the lattes, I'm trying to figure out. We do have Rhiannon Needham as well that did do a write up for us, which we really do appreciate as well. And then Becky is out here. Those are going to be our two riders still out here. So Becky Clare, that's who we're in with right now. Becky
Ah,
Longthorpe, Becky Clare, new to Zwift racing, but have a history of racing on roads. Looking forward to getting some race fitness back this season and exploring the world of virtual races. 5-year experience racing on roads, mostly competing in crits and road races. Did the Tour of Ireland and the Tour Series. Raced for Team Boom Pods. Had a few years off, so now keen to get back into fitness. So great to see Becky Clare hammering away out here.
I see Becky's actual last name is Longthorpe. Becky Clare is her Zwift name.
And looking
If
through.
you need to reach out to her for any reason.
Fun fact in lockdown, trained her spaniel pup to be a trail dog. He runs just behind
Really?
your back wheel and literally can see him smiling behind you. Definitely would recommend anyone to get a trail dog. She said, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, you got to have the right dog for that, right? I'm always amazed at, if you think about it, right, all the preparation that our human beings need to be athletes. You can just wake a dog up in the morning and be like, hey, we're going to go for 3 hours straight. I hope you've got breakfast in you. I mean, a dog can go for an endless amounts of time on whatever energy they've got in their body. Dogs are pretty incredible for that.
They need
When have
four
you seen
across
a
the line
dog
here,
bonk?
Dave. 4 across the line. It looks like they're going to make this happen. I did see a little bit of separation happening there
5K
for
to
a
go.
minute. Yeah, 5 to go. All back together, it looks like still 6 riders.
Wow, they're outstanding job of the cohesion on this team here. Zuska's been taking some long, hard pulls here, but the team has remained resolute today, talking about Galaxy Supernova.
And
I feel like
31
Galaxy
31. They have
Supernova is
3
just,
seconds over Crush Pod, one of our past features teams. So we've got 2 of
oh,
the
it's down to 3 seconds. Well, actually, it flipped, didn't it? Because
yeah, it did.
so it's a 10-second shift that we've seen since the last check, where Supernova was behind by 7. Now they're 3 seconds ahead. Plenty of racing still remaining for Crush Pod 2. We've really enjoyed. Just today, we're featuring Galaxy, but we've had a great chance to meet the Crush Pod 2 racers as well. Fun
One
group of
last
women.
rider I do want to highlight that I'm not sure she made the group. Maybe put in some pretty hard efforts early on. Is going to be Rhiannon Needham. Been Zwift a few years. Enjoy rolling courses. Started doing TTTs with a running club as well, which is called Serpentine before switching team. You've done Ride London, it sounds like, which is awesome. It seems like that's kind of a theme.
That's
Three
their thing.
times. And
Yeah.
we'll be doing Majorca 312 at the end. Wow, these are some serious athletes. She's doing the Majorca 312 at the end of April.
Serious
Uh,
travelers.
wow. And she says that one of her work and family to mention or celebrate is going to be Giovanna, the team captain here that kind of put this together, being an amazing friend and captain. Um, and fun fact, she's trained to be an osteopath.
That sounds fun.
I have
Sounds like a lot of work, to be honest. Yeah. If you have a team out there that would enjoy being featured in this way, certainly reach out. We're always looking for teams to highlight along the way as we continue week after week on Thursdays to absolutely love what WTRL, World Tactical Racing League, is all about. It's a lot more than just Team Time Trial Thursdays, but this is certainly a feature event. Now we're in with Z.R. Scott here,
Yeah, it's gonna be
sitting in
Mascot Alba
sixth.
having a good ride. This is going to be Aline Fisher, Fiona Davidson, Joanne Baxter, Julie McTaggart, Lena Hunter, Lorna Church, Louise McParland, Paula Ross, and Susan Graham is all out here hammering away right now as Baxter takes over, making her way up toward the front on an old school setup kind of here, though, Baxter.
What level Zwifter is she?
Well, she's got 2 races. This is her third, it looks like.
There's nothing, yeah, and so in no way is this a criticism. It's actually the exact opposite. For a rider with only 2 races to be here at this point on a great ride with the team, that's really, really impressive. That's a bright future here for someone who really doesn't have a tremendous amount of experience.
Lena Hunter as well. There's a lot of newbies actually on this team right now. Good to see. Joe Baxter is on level 11 Zwifter.
Yeah, so they're getting their act together really quickly.
Mm-hmm. Great to see. And a lot newer racers too. Back on November.
This is a hard course.
November 28th, actually, Hunter jumped into the world of Zwift Power and racing, and has been having some pretty good results. She took on New Year's Eve. She took a ladies' race by Frenchie Fusion, the win actually. So some of these ladies building some fitness up. It looks like here, specifically looking toward this ZRL. Watch out for ZR Scott here in that C category for the ZRL as they're doing a good job here right now in the Vienna Latte.
One of the things that you really don't realize that's a huge part of the success of WTRL is the accountability that these riders have to each other, right? Once you commit, Nathan, to being on a team and racing on Thursdays, they really need you. You can't flake out on your team.
We were talking about this yesterday. Look at the all the posts that are out there looking for ZRL team, and
right.
I mean, it's just consistently all the time, and then once you take up that spot, there's just a reality, like nobody else can take that now. And there's a commitment then to this team that you're showing up week in and week out.
Two-way street.
It's really cool. And there's something to the reality of that kind of commitment, sacrifice to other individuals that builds amazing friendships and camaraderie around this kind of suffering.
Part of mental health too. Well, right. And I mean, following through on commitments, but being needed, having a place to be, a sense of purpose. Those are all things that people really struggled with the last couple of years, right? And this has helped tremendously for some folks with that. Yeah, so they've got about 3.5K to go here.
Joe Baxter being a level 11 here, but pulling at 3 watts per kilogram on the front into the final couple kilometers. I mean, obviously
in the Vienna Lattes, yeah.
Strong rider here. Great to see her taking up some pulls and showing up to be a huge force of this team's result today.
Well, this is where now, I mean, you really are the big gains coming. You've been out here on your bike for 45 minutes at a very high level. Looks like we found Rave. our friend Molly's team.
Yeah, hammering away. I wonder if Molly's out here. She did say she may be jumping in with them. Not sure.
I don't see her.
No, I'm not sure she showed up on the day. How are Rave doing out here today?
Let's take a look now as all of our different categories are all getting very close to the finish here. This will wrap up pretty quickly for number 142. I think I might hear the Rave team.
Yeah, we hear them coming. We hear them coming.
Here they come.
Idon 31-21 taking over at the top here. So not a lot of landscape to work there for Galaxy. We'll see if they can make something happen. And the Vikings came on strong toward the end. And this is a course that does take a lot of endurance. I mean, you can make up a lot of time because of how many punchy climbs you have to take on.
Yeah, it's really hard to keep your team just organized together out here. They've done that at this point. 5 riders, so time taken off of the 4th, so no problem at all for a race. This is Louise that we're with.
Rave actually have a newer rider out here today, interesting enough. We're going to jump around a little bit. Apologies, everybody. We'll see if we can jump back on over to Rave in just a moment. And that will be because our featured team did just finish. But
we'll start gathering some results up for you here.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait on some of these results. A great rider to jump in with, though. This is going to be a newer rider. Oh, we're just with her. Here we go. To the world of racing in the TTT. This is her 3rd. Eddie Oish, it looks like. And then I believe Tiku L'Oreal is also out here for the Rave team, which is great to see. Yeah, and awesome to see L'Oreal out here coming out of Finland. And Teppo, also a huge part of this community, so great to see them hammering away. Rave here currently with 7th place in the 34.
Did you see that Teppo earned a Tron bike in less than a week?
Yeah, in a week. Yeah. That was his latest insanity. And I was wondering why I beat him up the reverse climb. I did a race with him on...
Probably because he'd been climbing for 6 days straight, right?
I did, yeah, exactly. I did the reverse KOM mountain at the end, I can't remember if it was the KISS 100 or there was another race I was in. But I did 200-kilometer races this past weekend, and one of them he was in. It was the Grand Fondo. We did the Fondo, Z Fondo series, and it was the Grand Fondo part of it.
Oh, cool.
And at the end, we were holding a steady 4.5 or so, and I was like, this is not Teppo Watts. What's going on here with Teppo? And he started dropping off. I was like, oh, that's right. He just destroyed his legs for a week straight. Everstein, how many times? I don't even know. Like 5 times? Something like that.
Yeah, incredible. Absolutely incredible. Well, he'll be a rider to watch. Certainly one of the most popular riders in the ZRL these days. Teppo L'Oreal, the Finnish rider.
As things start to finish up here, Dave, what's happening next week? I mean, it's ZRL. We're jumping out onto Neokyo all-nighter. I mean, that's going to be an interesting course. A little bit more climbing. Do you think
what
it's
a way.
Make differences, or maybe in the community?
Personally,
not so
I
much
don't.
In the Premier Division.
Well, I think for this first race, it's going to be fast and furious, and I'm fully expecting a sprint, to tell you the truth. It's going to be absolutely incredible. The teams are coming in hot, that's for sure. But yeah, what a place to race. That course is bananas. It's quite a lot to take in, that's for sure. And having positioning in that last K and being able to get up there to contest that sprint, that's going to be the name of the game.
Position. I think you're right about that. Knowing where to be, how, when, where, why. That finale, and the riders being maybe a little more unfamiliar with that course. Using McCurry a little bit more now is definitely, I think, going to be changing things up as to who can take the win. Those doing course recons or doing practice races, I think, are going to have a pretty big advantage going in.
Yeah, I saw Holden Camo just won a big race the other day. You start looking at a different group of riders, certainly than the way that we wrapped up the end of season 1. That's for sure. Very exciting, though. That's Monday that racing kicks off for Premier League, and then community racing begins on Tuesday. And I know sign up is just about to wrap up. So get your team in. I saw, Nathan, that they're making one last push to get people registered for the season.
Yep. Uh, Need to be registered end of this week. Only a little over 24 hours, 48 hours, something like that to go. So make sure that you get your team registered if you haven't done so already, or it is a no-go on season 2.
Just
Make
head on
it
over to
happen.
WTRL.racing.
Zed's on Pluto here. They're currently in fourth place. 32.55 is what's going down with them. And it looks like a lot of those who have fallen off pace still making their way to the finish line. And good on them for not, throwing in the towel and finishing up. Always great to see the riders finishing out their workouts and, putting in a solid effort up front for their team. As we do see Zed Sun with Cookie Hall, Williman, and Lepanzi of the USA. 4 riders left as they make their way toward the finish line.
31:21, the fastest time. I'm not sure why they're slotting in at second when they've got a quicker time than Galaxy Supernova Velocity.
Just the finishing. That's it's because they finished, so we can just go.
Oh, I see. There you go.
And change it up for you. There you go.
So Vikings Iden on quite a day. This is Zed Sun R that we're in with now, down to 1K to go.
This right-hand turn's always a sting in the legs, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that steep, but it's enough, isn't it? It's going to be nothing but climbing to the finish line from here. It's steep enough. 10% grade here. You really feel it with all the lactic acid that's built up in your legs. It's been a tough day of racing out here in Yorkshire.
A little bit of separation going on here as Hall takes over at the front, the Canadian. Williman right on the wheel. Ponzi's got to go up 4 watts per kilogram to get back on terms. Pulling the teammate, Cookie is here pulling the Ponzi.
The real battle is that 10 seconds difference. So will Galaxy Supernova be able to overtake the Vikings Iden? They came on strong. Crush Pod 2 was leading in the middle part of this race, and they've now sitting in third, but only a few seconds behind Galaxy Supernova. So it's the Vikings race to win or lose out here.
Well, man, just
Finishing
saying,
kick.
I'm going to have a little bit of fun at the end here. Put on a show for the broadcast. Always good to see. And getting her heart rate up over to 186, it looks like here. Huge effort. And then in with the Owls as they make their way around out on course. The Vienna, the Vienna crew here, long day out on course as they look to finish up. It looks like Wendy, Arlene, Pam, and Catherine, though, all still together. Wendy, 77 years old. 77 days.
Wow, that's awesome. Really, really impressive. The Owls have always been one of our favorite teams, and here they are at 4K to go.
At that 18K, it was 33.06 with the WTRL Watts Rising. Renegade there to 33.11. The Rockies are in third with 34.56. The Owls that we're looking at right now, 35.18. Still 4 of them left and a couple more turns to go. And they do put their names. It's the Faster After 50 crew. You can almost say Faster After 60 crew as Catherine's coming in at 59.
All right. So they've got a little, let's call it 8 minutes of racing out here still for the Owls.
Teppy coming on in. Good to see Teppy hanging out in the broadcast. It's a tough course for TTT. It is a very tough course for TTT. I actually kind of enjoy this course for time trialing. At least I have fond memories of it for some odd reason. I don't know why, but the interspersing of the climbs in between and the technique that's needed in order to really be able to find as much speed as possible I've always kind of enjoyed here. So Catherine now 2.8 at the back, and Arlene taking over at the front, it looks like. Trying to chase down Elliot here from Angular Speed, who's been dropped off by the rest of our team. It will be WCCC really having a solid ride all together here. 5 riders still in the green kits. This is going to be Tracer here, making her way to the front out of Germany. The Renegades up ahead, coming out of mainly Denmark, it looks like. It's going to be Maha, Oinorin, and Arnold. Gimsing here at the front at a solid 4 watts per kilogram as they make their way into the final K or so.
33:06, the fastest time there.
This is a battle right
18.
here. The Renegades and Watts Rising, as you can see. It's right.
Yeah,
it's
pretty close.
Good little jump back to the Rockies, though. And then WCC and RC Towle Rebeluna's there to 46.21 so far at that 18-kilometer mark. You can see the kilometers to go for each one of the teams. As we jump into the Renegades, it'll be a little bit behind there at 5.8 kilometers to go. Where is Watts Rising out on course? They must have already finished, I would think. As we do see the Rockies here making their final turn.
They're on to that last climb up to the finish line. Inside of 1K to go now for the Rockies team, part of the Herd family.
That's right. Is it
5 riders together, so they've got the numbers that they need.
After, right? Penguin. They're a penguin, right? The Rockies. Like rock hoppers?
I thought it was a Rocky Mountain reference. I'm not sure. It kind of makes sense, to tell you the truth.
I think that's a penguin.
You're a penguin. I would believe that, but I can't confirm it.
Because they snuck a Gentoo in there, so with Ketzer.
You would have never
who's not familiar with the bird thing and
how
the
many
herd thing
types of
like,
penguins there are. Yeah.
What are you talking about? They snuck a Gentoo in.
No, there's literally hundreds of types of penguins, which is something that you would have not really realized. It's like bananas, right? In America, you think, well, there's just that one kind of penguin or that one kind of banana. It turns out, oh, no.
What? There's more than one kind of banana?
Oh, there's hundreds of types of bananas. Little small ones, red ones, purple ones, you name it. They exist.
All right. Well,
quite a world we live in.
I'm going to go buy some more Adidas's.
Well, you want see, that's the thing.
Is
just in America, right? Well, in America, they only have one kind of banana. It's called the Big Jim. That's the banana style that we eat in the United States. The Big Jim. But the rest of the world is probably not eating as many Big Jims as we are.
Shaw here. Cornelius, Cook, and Andrews from Angular Speed, it looks like, making their way to the line. They're currently sitting in 6th place as we cover the rest of the Mocha category here out of the UK. Shaw leading things up a little bit of a sprint here actually coming from Cornelius. Racing her teammate to the line, always fun to see. 170 beats per minute. They're having fun with it. And Andrews, it looks like, with Cook, that's going to be the first 3 across. Cook's going to be the one that brings the time, though, so she's got to ready it up a little bit here, up in the 5.6, 181. Solid effort, as you can see. Owl's about to make their way up the climb as well. And then the last team to finish out today for our Vienna Mochas will be Zed Sun. Bringing things in. One rider, it looks like, coming out of Iceland, I believe, with the Hulk. Sandra Freeburn chasing down these owls. And about maybe going to catch them, actually. Just a little bit of a climb here. If they come over the top fast enough. 17 seconds, not sure. Well, we'll see.
They might. I mean, they look like they're motivated.
Yeah, super cruising here. And this is for, well, Zedsun Hydra, though, are 36-32, so the Owls have made up a huge amount of time on them. So this isn't going to really do much for them when it comes to the final result. But it may be just for pride at this point, make the catch. Not sure it's going to happen, as it looks like the Hulk here out of...
Yeah, the rest.
Iceland not going to be able
Yeah,
to.
the rest of the team wasn't quite able to sustain that chasing pace out there. I think they're going to come up just a little short of making that catch, but still a great ride today. Good look at the finishing straight here. We've seen so many times in this very popular world. Really tough course to race on here today, as they'll be bringing it on home, looking for that finishing gantry just up the road.
Yeah,
There it
job to
is,
all of our racers.
done and
Amazing
dusted.
Job. All of our racers out here today. Great job. And longer efforts, that's for sure, all the way through on a day like today. So great job to everybody finishing. There's still more racing to come throughout the rest of the day for the rest of the categories as the results do get populated. They will not be the final results for today, but they will be up until probably about zone 6 or 7. There are 16 zones, I want to say now. I mean, there's a lot of zones here at this point that do race throughout the day to make it all
19,
happen.
I believe.
19. Oh my
I
god.
think we're up to 19
keeps
zones.
on going. Just keeps on coming. It's insane. We did have some course records, I think, that were set out there today. Let's go ahead and take a quick look, though. Here is what happened with the Vienna Espressos. Seesaw raced like a girl back at the top by almost 2 minutes. What is going on? What kind of superpowers came out today?
Wow. Well, they must have brought the A team fully motivated there. As you can see, Seesaw raced like a girl, 42-17. Crushing it today, 44-10 for Wahoo Lecole, as they'll be second spot. Again, there's still racing to happen today as Crushpod Afagatos sitting in the third fastest time, 44-44, 44-51, only 7 seconds back there, or excuse me, just a few seconds back there to the Cheese Rollers from NZ Bro and TFC Vixen, rounding out our top 5 fastest times in our Vienna Espresso today.
Jumping on over to the Vienna Frappe. It's the Sox Watts Odd Sox with the 44-12. They had a stacked team out there today. Solid 2 minutes ahead. Evo Comets in for second. Team Electric Spirit.co. The Bees Knees at 3 minutes and 36. Back at 47-49. Cycling Power Women coming on in at 49-26. 5 minutes back. It's going to be NZ Bro Pie Sandwiches. Coming into the new year, 6 minutes back here, 50-48. And then back into Vienna Lattes. They made it happen, our featured. Is that right? By 2 minutes and 44? I mean, that's, hold on a second. I need to make sure, because we had more teams in this. I
have a feeling
maybe.
Yeah. We'll refresh that.
Yeah, we need a refresh here. Double check here. Boards are all looking fine, I'm being told, but maybe just going to do a quick little
where the Vikings, Iden, and Crushpod 2.
Yeah, good call there, Dave. Good call. As we did do an update here, and a few more teams coming on in with the Union Bravas. As you can see, Kirchberg Vienna Frappe. So Rave on there for a third. I think it looks like maybe some of this did get updated. There we go. Sorry about that, everybody. Vikings Titan actually taken up by 1 second. Sorry about that. False alarm. Galaxy Supernova. They ended up coming in for second place there. Crushpod there for third. With
Look how close. Wow.
Very close. The top three there. Insane.
Yeah, close. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Vikings Iden taking the win with a 47-14. It's just a second back to Galaxy Supernova Velocity, our feature team today. Thanks, ladies, for joining us. Crushpod 2 in with the third fastest time as it stands right now. Zedson our Pluto fourth. Atom Racing ART Electrons in with the fifth fastest time. Zed R Scott Alva sixth. Zed Sun R Burson seventh. Rave Against the Machine 8th, Vegan Mint 9th, and the WCC Infernos. Those are your 10 fastest times at the moment. We'll see if anybody can integrate that table here. Back to you, Nathan.
And in with the Vienna Kirchmer B. Team B is there, coming in with a 48-58. Renegade 49-50. In with the Platinum League. Crushpod Cortado in zone 10, come through with a 50-01. WTRL Watts Rising 50-05. Evo Meteors there for fifth place with a 51-17. Angular Momentum in for sixth there, 51-42. Rockies come in for seventh place there, followed up by AHDRL Cruzettes and pretty much a tie there between them and Owl, with the Faster After 50 crew there in 9th place at 53.35. The difference there being less than a second. Zetson Hydra there, 54.46. On with the men / mixed at the top. This is going to be Restart Racing, and they have been showing up all over the community coming into the ZRL here. Watch out for Restart.
37.12 their time to be the fastest in the Platinum League. Evo Warriors second, in Doppio Platinum League. Doppio's Evo Warriors second fastest. Wahoo Lacole third. Cycling Power Race Team fourth, and VCRT. The Doggos in fifth spot as it stands right now. And 36 flat remains the course record out here, though. That was not challenged.
Yeah, that wasn't even close to challenge with the PO Auto Crews. So, Virtus Slow Big Strong guys with the 754. It's going to be Schmurr Spray Espresso. We talked about them during the broadcast. Be watching out for them, and they made it happen there. It's Jet Racing Team Toothless Country Boys there with the 3814, followed up by Adam Racing Team Photons 3820. Vikings Hell coming through for fifth. Eat Dirt in sixth. Cryogen Gulls in seventh. Dirt Diggler in for eighth. It's going to be Innovation Alien Express there for ninth, and Backpedal 1 coming in at 39 flat. Wow, that's some close racing, all within 1 minute or so for that top 10 in the Espressos. Very strong category today.
Let's take a look at the Frappes now. It's Schmerz Frappe with the 39.52 to put up the gold standard. Garage Pain Chasers, second fastest, only 4.5 seconds back there. And it's Coalition Hyperon. Good job, Coalition. They'll take the bronze medal in a Frappe if things stay the way they are. 40.20 the time for Dirt Time Chasers Zetas. They're in fourth. Rowan King Gazelle's fifth. Vikings Jormungandr in sixth. ZR Scott Kelpie seventh. Team Type 1 CGMS in eighth. Evo Vortex Psychopaths ninth. And then the RR Rapid Rhinos rounding out your top 10 fastest times for our Frappes.
And in with the Lattes, Vikings Valhalla with the 42.26. RR Woolly Rhinos a full minute back. Looks like Vikings walking away with it with a 43.45, followed up by WLBB Latte 3 as your top three at a 44.01, making that mark. Team ODZ Destroyers with Cookies there, 2 seconds back. Very close racing here for these spots between fourth and fifth. Adam Racing Team there, 44.05. DBR Blue Arrows there for sixth. Going to be Alpen Trauto Latte there coming in for seventh. Sydney Cycling Friends there in eighth. Shri TTT Tempo for ninth. Coalition Nocturne, they're in for 10th. Now, real quickly, I want to shout out that the Sydney Cycling Friends, they had the course record, I think, coming into this, and Vikings Valhalla set that 42.26 for a new course record, actually. So congratulations to them, as they did just set that today.
All right, let's take a look at our Mochas now. At TFC Hurricane, fastest time at 49.21. Second quickest out there, just a few seconds back at 50.04 for Evo Fusion Lightning. ART Krypton, third quickest. Army Cycling E in fourth. It's TBR Team Big Ring Renegades, fifth quickest. Spokey Blokes DUE in sixth. WYP-2 seventh. And Golf in eighth. And Giant Camden, the Holy Rollers, with the ninth quickest time, rounding out your top 10, Zed Sonar Nebula.
And next week, TTT 143. It's the Watopia Hilly Route. 7 p.m. UK time. Registration closes next week, Wednesday, 1 p.m. Central Time. 28.2 kilometers, 17.5 miles for number 143 out on Watopia. And registration closes for the ZRL Friday in Hawaii, end of day. Get on that, everybody. Otherwise, no ZRL going to be happening for you and your team out there. So appreciate everybody jumping in with us and getting chat coming on through here, it looks like. Riders can join teams at any time, I'm being told, but you need to get your team registered. Get your team registered. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week, Monday, over on Zwift's channel, or GCN, for the ZRL. Going to be covered on over there. And we'll be here with the community side of things as well, obviously, Next week, we'll be covering APAC as well as a bunch of the European streams and America's East and West. Kate and Anna, myself, and Dave all on all the ZRL action. Going to be a ton of fun. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. As always, right on.